fame is number one desirable. I do what I want when I want and how I want it. Leave you with the one in the air, that's how I roll. I got changes, bro, I don't care about no goal. Better, so much better, flipping incredible. Always on the show, so they know that I still got it. And I never feel sorry, yeah, top of the world.
All right. Hello and welcome to UNIQ XPRESSIONS PODCAst. I am one of your hosts. I am Destinee Jae, and we have our special guest co-host tonight, Just D. Wait for him, Just D. All right. And tonight, what we are doing is we have something we're continuing called a battle of the sexes. This is part 3. The first part was the men and the women. The second part was the women, and now we have the third part here, which is the men. We are continuing our last week's show, which will air next week, actually. And we talked to a group of men, some are reoccurring here tonight, about many things, like a man's role in today's society, how the government breaks up the Black family with child support and force some men out of the home, and the lasting effects of having no father in a young male child's life. There was a few breakthroughs that were made last time that helped me understand men a whole lot better. And because of that, I went and did a little research. And I didn't expect the conversation to be so deep, but when I did the research, I did find that there was one recurring statement in everything I researched, whether it was books, it was the internet, and I'm going to read it for you because I kept getting it, kept coming up, and I want you men to tell me exactly how you feel about it. We also have ladies here. I have to tell you, we also have ladies here. You probably don't see them right now, but almost towards the end of the show, we are going to ask them to ask the questions that they've always wanted to ask. So now is the time to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the UNIQ XPRESSIONS Podcast. And if you have any questions that we didn't cover here on this podcast, you can always go to my email and I'll give that information later, or write it down in the description box later on. Okay, so this is the recurring statement. Men, listen up. No man code tonight, just facts, no lies. We're just gonna get down to real talk. Okay, let me know how you feel about this. It says, most people believe that the role of a man is to be a good provider and fierce protector, which means supporting his family financially and contributing to the emotional, spiritual, physical, and well-being of his whole family. It says, in a more traditional role, the man should always be the head of his household, which is not always the case in today's society. So what I want to ask, and I'm just going to start off like this. What do men think about the role of a man in today's society? And is there pressure to uphold those standards of manhood? So what do we think about that, gentlemen?
Yeah, it's pressure. It's
pressure.
definitely pressure.
Definitely have a lot of pressure.
I believe that, and again, like, we're supposed to be 100, right? Y'all in the barbershop.
Yes.
It's our own women that are putting that much pressure onto us. We with, like, you know, these high expectations that a lot of men are, especially our Black men or whatsoever, are not going to reach in a lifetime, or it would take a whole lifetime just to even reach these specific expectations or whatsoever. Like, it's like the women, it seems like the women have this set, all of them, like, I want a smart, mature man who's making this, 6 figures, has his own house, his own car, no kids, got to be 6 feet tall, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And that starts like just narrowing it down, and then, or whatsoever. And then it's like, well, we think like, okay, well, what are we going to get out of it? And then it's like, you know, oh, well, I'm gonna cook, clean, all that. We could do all this stuff ourselves. You know, oh, I make this amount of money. Like, we not looking for y'all to provide for us. We're not looking for y'all to protect us. We're not looking, you know, all we care about is if you going to look decent when we bring you home to our parents, and are you gonna be that freak that we need in bed or whatsoever. Outside of that, it's like, okay, that's all we're asking. We're pretty simple, but y'all want us to provide. I mean, where in this day and age, y'all technically are making more money than us. What are we providing with you? What exactly would y'all want us to provide for you? And I understand like the affection and all kinds of stuff like that, but as a man, especially in today's society, we don't. I mean, from y'all, and not saying all of y'all, but we don't get that same thing. Like when y'all come home from a hard, long day of work or something like that, and y'all say y'all gotta vent out. We sit there and we do listen to y'all. We are told constantly, suck it up. You're a man. Take it. Or whatsoever. Now listen to me, listen to me, Mac, or something like that. We don't get asked the question, babe, how are you feeling, babe? What's going on with your day? Or, I see you kind of, you feeling emotional, like, let it out. I'm here for you, or something like that. A lot of us are not getting that or whatsoever. So that pressure of just being a man, and not even that, like just a good man to you, as well as being a good man in society, or it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from that statement.
It is a lot of pressure, because whether we've put a name to it or just know it instinctually, we know that the world does not owe us understanding. Whatever our challenges are our challenges, and we got to deal with them in whatever way we can, and build ourselves. Now, as far as the provider role, I think that's really been corrupted. Corrupted, because it's been unfairly boiled down to money, or he's got to be a 3-6 man, 6 figures, 6 feet, and 6-pack,
Wow.
and
Okay.
and I mean, yes, I've been listening to Kevin Samuels,
Yes.
taking in calls and everything else, and because he's talking to a lot more women than I am, just straight up, and it seems that a lot of women, especially Black women, do not understand men, do not understand what we're up against, do not understand what's important to us as far as what we're looking for in a woman. Now, if we're average, Jamal, rather than an average Joe, if we're average Jamal, most women are not looking for him, even though they're, financially, they're right next to him, and that's crazy, because that narrows their pool, and then they're on the clock, and it becomes a problem if they don't wake up and watch, really look at the situation. But for me, I need more than emotional support, because I'm building a kingdom. So whoever comes on to my program has to help me build my kingdom. And she's not going to be working outside of that. She's going to be employed, drawing a check. So so my specific requirements are going to be different. However, getting back to the provider role, I forgot to get back to that. The provision has been corrupted unfairly to boil down to money, and it's not about money. It's not about money, because before the Civil Rights Act, it wasn't about money. In the 60s and before, it was not about money. We got together because we married because we needed each other, and we valued what each other had to bring as a member of the opposite sex. But as far as the the unfair simplification of provision, it's really about providing direction, discipline, inspiration, and support. It's about those non-monetary things that not only do our women need, but our children need.
And I learned a lot from both statements actually. Okay, now let me ask you. So I'm getting the gist that the pressure is not society, it's women. Okay. Let me ask you.
It's society.
So it's not society. It's women that put the pressure on you guys.
Women add to it, but it's society, because it doesn't matter if it's Black men, Hispanic, or whatever. You know,
I would have to disagree with that. I don't think that it's society. I mean, society just set up on their own but society is not made for us. I think our women, the women, the fact that our women chose to go to society, it's still onto them, the fact that they chose to do that. Even though that society was set up there, they didn't have to go to that. They did, which still ends up affecting our household. We chose to even try to remain segregated or try to remain separate or something like that. But as men, naturally, we're going to go or end up following our women anyway. So the fact that they're going into we have to play into that system anyway. So I don't think that it would be. I mean, it's still, and I hate the fact that I'm doing this right now for y'all because I love y'all to death. But
no, this is real talk. It's your feelings.
It is like y'all literally, like I wrote a poem. I don't know if anybody heard it, but I think you heard it. I wrote a poem. In my poem, I'm talking about how fine y'all are.
Yes.
And I'm literally saying, like, y'all are the nerves that wrap around our spine. Without y'all, we're not moving as a people. We're not moving at all. So when y'all, and just like the spine, if our spine twitch or something just go wrong with our spine, our legs gonna jump or we're going to follow whatever y'all are pretty much doing or whatsoever, as long as y'all stay connected to us. But if y'all start going off on your own, start doing things, this is when seizures starts coming, all the other stuff like that, because y'all are off. We need y'all to be aligned with us, or whatsoever. Okay. We need to be able to. But yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. And I know you said that we went to society. Let me ask you, and I know I'm jumping ahead, but I think this is a good question to ask now. What should women do that would alleviate some of the pressure? If what's going, and what does going to society mean for those that don't know? So those are two questions there.
Well, in the modern sense, number one, social media. And media in general, because as a people, we have put together in piecemeal what it is to be a man or a woman from what we've got on radio or TV. Few of us have gotten that picture from our parents and or grandparents. And too many of us, especially women, have bought into the Disney fantasies of of relationships and and marriage and everything. You need to be able to distinguish what is the propaganda and what is real. Okay. That's the first thing, at least to be open to seeing that, okay, we've been programmed to this by by outside forces. This didn't come from us. So in order to have a different outcome, we got to make changes now.
Okay. And what can women do to alleviate some of the pressures that you feel that might help the family stay together? Or do you guys think that it's like another ploy by like the government to break, since we are all Black in here, the Black family up? You know, you think social media, like you're saying, is, or just the tactics that make women act a certain way?
Not only.
I'm going to say,
Go ahead.
I'm going to say one thing, but I'm not going to be long-winded.
No. Go ahead. Say your full thing.
I'm not even going to be long-winded with this one.
Okay.
Stop being scared to submit.
Oh, yes. And that show is coming up, guys. Please know that show is coming up. I'm going to need all y'all to be there.
I'm going to throw that out. I'm going to let y'all unpack that. Yeah.
Yes, we're going to dedicate a whole show to that.
Yeah, because building on what he said, think about it for a second. What power if you submitted to us, what power have Black men had all this time in order to scare you?
What is submitting, though? And I just want to go into a little piece of it, because I always hear Black men say submit. We're not going to cover all of it. But what is submitting? Like when you say you want the Black woman to submit, how? Is it fully?
To be agreeable is one.
Okay.
Right? To comport her tongue and her attitude is another one.
Okay.
And to follow our lead. That is not to say that we wouldn't ask you for your input on a given subject or whatever is at hand. It's just that, you know, once we make the decision, that's the way we're going to go, you know, to follow our lead, you know.
Okay. Which brings me up to something, because I knew that the word submit was going to come up. So I did a little research on that also. And it brought me to this. There was a couple of references on what a real man is, what a beta man is, which is what we've already talked about on a previous show, which was, can men and women really be friends? You know, you should check that out if you haven't seen it. But what is a real man? What is a beta man? And what are the traits of both?
Hold on. I'm sorry. This subject irks me. The reason why I say it irks me is because, like, people, and I'm really not trying to just keep on talking, but you hitting the topics I love right now.
No, I love to hear y'all talk.
But the beta male idea is totally misconstrued. Beta males are one of the most loyal people that you're going to ever meet. What y'all are associating as beta male or simps is actually it's either a delta male or a zeta male. These are your people that they need attention. They'll do anything for attention, but they're weak. They don't know how to talk to women. Beta males are just after alphas. Beta males are your vice presidents, your second in your command, your right-hand man,
I get it.
your enforcer. These are the people that's going to keep your idea going and enforce them. So I hate, like, okay, what is the beta male? What is the alpha male and stuff like that? And people are just completely disrespecting beta males. But continue on.
And I like that because you broke it down. And I've never heard anybody explain it like that. And it actually was better than what I saw, because it's always used in a negative way. And let me ask you, the difference between a beta man and a real man, is there a big difference between it?
Well, the betas are basically followers. The alphas are leaders. And then there's a classification beyond the alphas, which are the sigmas. And the difference between the alphas and the sigmas is that the sigmas are even more powerful because they have nothing to prove to anyone else, right? Alphas will show off with the bling and everything else. Hey, I got it and all that kind of stuff, because they feel that they got to show off and prove to somebody else that they got it like that. A Sigma has nothing to prove to nobody but himself if he wants to, and
Okay.
he's low key, and he's more powerful not only because he conserves that show off energy, because he's constantly growing and more to himself.
Okay. Now this may anger some people, some of you men. But as I was reading, when I put this question together, someone I was reading a published somebody had published something. Then they asked, what is the difference between men and women? So it's almost like they were saying, like, I guess men were like the equivalent of real men, and women were like the equivalent of beta men, which means which meant beta men were almost like I took it as beta men were like weaker. You get what I'm saying? Like that, for some reason, that's how they put it, and it just popped out at me like, oh, so they're trying to say that it's not good to be a beta man. Like beta men are like the bottom of the totem pole. That's how I took it.
I have a different picture than Marielle does. Now, the beta men would basically be products of a single mother household.
We are going to talk about that because that was one of my questions.
Because the example of power in the dynamic of the home is not him, it's his woman, right? And unless he gets married, the leading lady in his life is his mother. So if she sets the pattern as being the strong one, then he's always going to gravitate toward a woman with masculine traits, who would, boss him around and tell him what to do and, wipe his nose and all that. I know I'm being a little hyperbolic, but, but he would have little to no examples of the natural pride and strength and the stride, of being a man, and it in a way, to a certain extent, being the son of a single mother, you don't get to be able to appreciate yourself. And if it's bad enough, you kind of hate that you're a boy.
Now, let me ask you, because that was one of my questions. I'm so glad that we came up on that, because my question was, do single mothers ruin men or make men weak? No. So that's kind of what Slim are talking about. Does anybody else want to talk about that? Because I know everybody wasn't raised with their fathers.
Somebody else.
I don't feel single women make men weak. I was raised by a woman and I'm not weak at all.
Okay.
Like, I do what I have to do. Like, it didn't make me weak. I'm not sensitive to certain stuff because you do get those guys that's brung up by women that will become feminine at the end of the day, but a single mother or your parent or guardian does not make you weak if it's a woman that's raising you.
Okay. Does it make you more sensitive to women's needs if you're raised by just your mother?
I feel it depends on the type of person you are, because it depends on how that woman raised you.
Okay.
Yeah, totally agree.
That woman could have raised you to be stronger, or that woman could have raised you to hate her.
Right.
I get it. Okay. All right. Anybody else want to speak on that? Because was everybody raised like a two-parent home here? Anybody else? Because I know we had talked about that on the last show, and it was like there was no agreement to that. It was up or down. It was
just for the record, when I was up to the age of about 7 or 8, my father was actively in my life, and then after that, it was just my mother.
Okay.
So
And let me ask you,
part of their time.
does having an absentee father not in your life, does that affect men for the rest of their lives? Is that something that they always have to deal with?
For me,
No.
yes.
No.
Okay, so you say no, why not? And I'm gonna hear the yes, but
Well,
why not?
For me, because I came to terms with my father not being there when I was 13. So it was like when I saw him, last time I saw him and spoke to him, and when I realized how he was when I was 13. So it was the whole factor of I was raised by a woman, and most of my family, I was raised by nothing but my aunts and my godmothers and stuff. So basically, me not having my father there, it really didn't hurt me much because first I had the other men in my life, my uncles, my grandfather, and then on top of that, if my father wasn't there, I learned everything I had to learn from the women in my life, and also from my uncles and my grandfathers. So it wasn't like I was missing it. To me, I didn't miss it. I had that piece of me that wanted it. But then after when I realized who he was and how he is, I left it alone. And I was just grateful to have what I had.
Okay.
See,
Okay.
you had father figures in the form of uncles and grandfathers, but when I'm typically talking about beta males, I'm talking about no father figures whatsoever.
Okay. Okay. All right. And let me ask you something. Since we are talking about like feelings and I had a couple of questions I want to ask you. Why do men seem so emotionally unattached? Is that just like a black man thing? Is that an old male thing? Does that come from like the childhood?
We grew up being told to man up, take it like a man.
Suck it up.
You
don't cry.
Boys don't cry.
Yeah, we try to say, like you too feminine. You crying, you too feminine. You have feelings. You have feelings. Even down to even trying to take care of ourselves. No, like spa day or go and get a pedicure or a manicure and stuff like that. Even that, which will make us feel better as a person or whatsoever. You know, we see that as we're told that we shouldn't do that because that's not manly or something like that. So that restricts us. Like here's the issue. I like to say. I like to think, and I'm not gonna go too long either because I want everybody else to speak. As men, we have this, and this is our issue. We have this thing that we always have to be masculine, and we don't have to get in touch with our feminine stuff.
We have a lot of pride.
We have both. Whether we male or female, we have an equal balance of both. It's just wherever wolf you feed the most is what's going to grow. I mean, that's the Indian proverb. So if you majority want to be macho or also like that, you're not going to have anything to do with your feminine side or anything like that. But then you're going to have issue of why you're not connecting with your woman. If you're a majority of feminine and stuff like that, you're gonna know how to talk to women and all kinds of stuff like that. You're gonna know how to interact with stuff. But when push comes to shove, like you're gonna swing, like you ain't gonna. You gotta balance it out. We have to be attached with, and we've been told and grown and grew up like, be masculine to the point where when we become adults and stuff like that, we have men that don't cry at all, don't have no type of feelings. I'm all about getting money, and get as many as possible and stuff like that. But then when a woman come around, I'm a man. I don't care. Like, this is me. You either deal with it or you're not. We don't know how to connect. So, I mean, that's something that's our side. But then on the women's side, y'all have to give us that space. Y'all without judgment, without you putting your feelings into it and stuff like that. Because we can say something that just be on our mind. And then y'all will some way slide y'all into it. And then for some reason now it's about y'all. It is no longer about it. And it's like, well, okay, yeah, the girl makes you feel like that, but why are you talking to the girl in the first place? Should you be talking to the girl in the first place? What about me? Why are you coming talking to me? I'm like, this not, but yeah, go ahead.
I get it. No, get over your chest. I understand. I get it.
It gets back to how we're wired as well, because how we're wired generally as men and women. Women process their feelings externally, usually through talking.
Right.
Men process our feelings internally. So for an analogy, which is actually from the book, Men Are from Mars, Women Are from Venus.
Yeah.
When we're dealing with something, we go into our cave, okay, in order to process our feelings, right? Y'all were outside the cave about to run in and pull us out in order to get us to talk. You know, first of all, we don't want to talk. When we're ready to talk, we'll come to you.
Oh, okay.
But the thing that you don't realize as women is that there's a dragon posted at the door. And if you try to come in without being invited, the dragon is going to burn you. And you're going to wonder, why the hell did the dragon burn me? I'm trying to just get my man. No.
Wow.
The dragon posted at the door. When we're ready to talk, we will talk. Don't force us.
I like how you put that. Ladies, I hope y'all are listening. I like how you put that. So, and that was one of my questions too. Are there any times when men feel lonely or left out, which causes them to be emotionally unreachable? Like, is there times when you guys just, like, do men feel lonely? Is that like something that men
I'm gonna say this, Jay. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
If you don't think that we don't always get left out of things, of course we get lonely. But it's only for like maybe a hot minute, and then we're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and call some friends. We're gonna go ahead and go out, do something, then come back. And if you want to ask us, be like, we fine. What's up?
Yeah.
So y'all don't sit on the couch and just eat or ice cream and
we have moments too. We have moments too when
it's one of our defense mechanisms.
Yeah, it's because of the fact that since if we're lonely, we're gonna have something to do. Whether we go out with the boys or we're gonna be by ourselves, it don't matter. It's just the fact that we want y'all to know that we get alone time. We get lonely when you guys are gone. Because the fact that one, we do need our space.
Right.
We do need our space. And two, we want our time to ourselves to go and think and process and do it. We don't need all that all the time. Believe me.
Okay.
Believe me.
Okay. All right. See, I like this. We're being honest. I've learned it quite a lot.
I learned to appreciate to go ahead and think and, try and do other things mentally myself, just because I don't have a girlfriend. But still, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Whether you girlfriend, booed up or not, sometimes you gotta have a time and space to go ahead and just recollect yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because there's times when we're getting all this stuff at us, and the pressure is building up, and and if we crack, that's it.
I get it.
We want to go and have a spot for ourselves to go ahead, recollect our thoughts, think, get back to where we are, and then when we're done, we'll come back.
I get it. Okay. I understand. And that helped me out a lot because I liked how you said that when the women are gone, it was kind of like you said you missed them. And I like that because I have a lot of the women that's in the room. I know you guys can't see them yet, but there are questions that are coming at me. And I wanted to talk to you guys about relationships because the women want to know. I'm glad we talked about your feelings first because that opens up the women to kind of understand you a little bit more. Let's start. Let's start with the relationships and men. You can maybe help some of the women here and all over the world better understand men. All right. There was a question that I've asked before on other shows, and I want to see if this answer has changed. Is it a man's job to defend a woman? Since we all are Black in the room, is it a Black man's job to defend a Black woman?
It's both our jobs to defend each
Yeah.
other.
Okay. And is it just like his mother, his sister, his wife, or let's say a stranger that's getting harassed across the street? Is it still his job to help?
I believe so.
If we were following the rules of being a community, it definitely would be. And that's the role of the traditional man.
But you have guys that might not even follow the rules of the community, that might still step up for that woman when you're at the supermarket and her man is in the parking lot screaming at the top of their lungs about to fight each other and kicking each other out the car. Like, you might walk to that man and that woman like, hey bro, come on, seriously? Why you gotta do that in public? Take that home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we should be responsible for each other.
Right.
Great. Okay. All right. Okay. Now let me ask you something. For the men in the room that have daughters, or this is just a question. I got this question from one of my friends, and she wanted to know, and this is how I worded it: what do men see as protection for women? And when I say that, I mean, how do women guard their hearts from men with bad intentions? Like, you see what you were talking about when you were saying, like, the guy, he's a bad guy, he's doing something to hurt the woman, or just, her heart. How do women kind of protect themselves from things like that? And these are random questions. I'm actually asking questions that people gave me at this point about relationships and just men and women. So
the traditional way is that the men of her family would vet the suitor. Whether it's the older brother, father, uncle, what have you, they would vet the potential, because first of all, they're men. They're older men. They already know what kind of game that could be played, that this young buck might spit, and then also he can contact the family to get more information about this boy, And
what would she do if she didn't have, like, let's say she didn't have a father, or let's say a father deceased, so she doesn't have a father in her life, or like, does she look to
it could be a pastor, a deacon,
another male figure?
Actually, to be 100, I mean, that's literally a loaded. That's like a loaded question. Because
no, why do you say it's loaded?
Because that's literally like us asking, how do we protect ourselves from y'all? Y'all are deadly too.
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, well, how do we find because y'all are masters of manipulation, seduction, and all kinds of stuff like that. Wow. So, I mean, that's not a bad thing, but that's not a good thing neither, right? Like, right. But it's like, okay, how do we guard from y'all? You just have to be mindful. You got to be, you got to stick to your guns, stick to your morals. Trust your instincts, trust your guts. And make sure that you have on the right head on your shoulder. So you can't really, there's really no bad men repellent that we are secretly holding or anything like that. It's like, right. I can't relate to a bad guy. Like, I'm not trying to treat no woman bad or anything like that. But find somebody like me. I don't know.
Right. So are there any signs to look for? Or something that, women be like, oh, wait a minute, he did.
Y'all would know.
Man to man.
It differs. Okay.
Yeah. I'll say a couple of common things that we would prize: reciprocity, accountability. Okay. Being open to the fact that you could be wrong.
Okay, as a woman. Okay.
Because y'all do, double monkey backflips to avoid admitting that you're wrong.
I'm gonna tell you that, but just to back up. like at least 60% of y'all wins in an argument is because we quit. We are like, you know what? You got it.
Is that
Yeah.
it?
Do whatever you want to do. I'm going to be over here. Do whatever you want.
You know,
I
and
promise y'all.
yeah, and we'll just give you the yeah, all right.
Sounds about right.
Unless we just got the downright dirt evidence, but y'all are so good with hiding y'all stuff. So it's like, okay, but when we catch y'all, oh, that's why we get so hyped when we were like, oh, y'all wrong. Yeah, that's right, man. We you wrong. Who's the man? Yeah, you know, that's we get so hyped because only like 25% of the time, yeah, we actually caught y'all. But other than that, we're like,
my favorite 3 words. My favorite 3 words to say. Are you done? Because I already know what I'm about to say. Got you right there.
All right, go ahead.
Like
I'll
just
wait.
like that.
Go ahead. In our mind, we pacing like a cat. Like this. Come on. Like.
But what just said is what just said is perfect though, because not only is it setting a short message, it's also sending a premise, you know, whereas I'm waiting for you to stop throwing a tantrum like a child so we can have an adult conversation.
Wow.
That's the premise, that's the subtext of what he just said.
Okay.
So that was slick, Just. I like that. I'm gonna use that.
Yeah.
Ladies, I
I'll have
hope
to
y'all
agree with
listening. Okay. And remember, these are random questions, so they're not in any type of order.
Hold on. But even like this, even with us as men, we say that. When a man say that, just know we already know. Just like y'all women know what we doing, we already got our facts straight before we even came to you with it. So we're right sitting there waiting for you, like, all right, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say, because we already got the proof, we got the answer, and we're gonna shut you down. So now we want to see that look on your face, like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just feeding you more and more rope, waiting for you to hang yourself, really.
Okay, look, the women are hitting me up. Okay, here's another question. How do men feel degraded by women? Is it through their speech, their attitudes, or what? I noticed y'all talked a little bit about that. Like, do women degrade men? Do men feel degraded by women?
Yeah.
What is
that.
How? Help me.
Ooh, and y'all are savage with it. Like,
Yes.
Why do you
we can say one thing. It's like, you know what, babe? That's why you got a stomach a little bit of stomach. And we'll walk with them just because we ain't back and forth. And y'all will go, oh yeah? Well, that's why your stroke game weak. That's why you so that's why your like your best friend. It was like, wait. Like I'm playing. Like, okay.
So let me ask you, is it black women that do that to black men, or is it all women?
I want to hear just.
It's all.
It's all women.
Okay.
It's all women. I'm sorry.
One reason being is that do y'all understand why when all of us guys in here be over 6 feet at this age, by the time we're about 60 or 70, we're shorter, there's women degrading our ass and cutting us down.
I was about to get to that. Thank you for talking about it.
Chopping us at the knees.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why
because
if you got sons and you realize they taller than you, that's just because you women have degraded you all these years. Now you taller than you, so he ain't got it yet.
We be out 20 years before y'all do. This is like, okay, I'm dead. You're
Wow. I'm learning so much.
Yeah, but y'all body shame and wallet shame us all the time. What do you think the expectation or the criteria of finding a 3'6" man is about? You're shaming his body, he has to be 6 feet. You're shaming his wallet, he has to have 6 figures. And then, body shaming again with the 6-pack.
And it's really like when y'all get upset or something like that, y'all treat us like we were. And I'm not saying that's all y'all, but y'all would treat us like y'all settled for us. Y'all didn't get the right guy. So then when y'all get angry and y'all really react in y'all feelings, y'all Like, oh, well, we could be making the exact same amount of money, but you make just a little bit more. I pay
Bro,
all the bills. These are mine. You look. You better shut up. Like you, and I'm just like, okay. You only make $100 more than me. Okay, great. All right, you got it. You know what?
or you get hit with the you broke.
You broke.
Oh,
I got this all mine. It's my
Yeah,
car.
because she been spending your money.
Mm.
oh.
Say that again for everybody in the back.
Because
Say
she's
that
been
again.
spending
Okay.
your money. She the way that she moves is that your money is my money and my money is my money. So
Yeah,
you're broke
say it again for people in the back.
But look, I know they back there. I know y'all women back there are just like having a field day right now. Just don't.
Yeah, they ready. They ready. And I'm gonna bring them in on a select question.
Please.
But it's not gonna be a setup, man. I just want to hear what they
I want
gonna
all
say.
y'all smoke. I want all y'all smoke.
Yeah.
I'm 2 days into Kevin Samuel. Like I want all y'all smoke. Like come on. Like
Let me ask you, what do you guys, because that was one of my questions. What do you guys feel about Kevin Samuels? Is what he tells women the truth? Ladies, listen. Is it the truth? Do you agree?
Y'all know that.
No.
I'm not ready for that, man. But yeah.
Let's just say this. Let's just say this. I haven't heard one thing about this guy, but Kevin Samuels. Here's the thing. I've been getting stuff from Steve Harvey. I've been getting stuff from all these other people who want to go ahead and let women in on a little thing from our perspective, and they take it and run with it. Some of it is just the wrong information. Some of it that they don't have a concrete perspective of what we're living. It's the fact of I'm living in this, you're looking from outside in, and you don't understand, but then again, you don't understand the whole concept of it. It takes years and years and years to go ahead and get to where we are, and you're getting a little window of what we go through. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I speak for myself on this. I don't know about anybody else of the guys here, but you're only getting a little snippet of what we as men go through. And then with the history that we carry on our backs, again, still a little window. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, all right.
I'll go so far as to say, now, I mean, I like Steve Harvey as a comedian, and I started to buy into what he was doing on the relationship side. To a point, up until I came across Kevin Samuels, and Kevin Samuels framed things for me in an unapologetic way. Okay. Steve Harvey, he doesn't go as far as, but it is in the direction of pedestalizing women. And Kevin Samuels is much. Steve is more to the pandering. Kevin Samuels is more on the realistic, down to earth. Let's do the math. Let's figure this thing out in the most logical way possible. And it's his stance is basically in opposition or an affront to all the feel-good pandering media that has stroked Black women's egos for 50 years.
Okay, now let me ask you, because that's a good comparison. Because I myself, I love Kevin Samuels, and most women don't. So I know I'm different there. I noticed I love Steve too, but I think that maybe Steve does it because he has daughters. Like Steve kind of, notice how, because I read both books that Steve has. It's almost like he's talking to his daughters in that book. Whereas Kevin kind of just, he don't care. He kind of just come at you and say whatever he has to say. I don't know if he has children. I've never heard him talk about any children, anything like that. But I kind of get where Steve comes from. He's kind of talking directly to the women.
Steve has daughters. Yes, he has daughters and a wife. Very public, even though they're kind of step back. Kevin has an ex-wife.
Right.
Two ex-wives.
Was it? Yeah.
However, what pops out to me is that Steve is selling a product. He's selling his books. He's selling his lifestyle. He's selling the movies and any other media that he's involved in, including being on radio. So he's got something to sell. Kevin doesn't have anything to sell. You got to come to him in order to get his advice. Yes, he does do consulting, but that's not the same kind of product as a book, movie, and all this other kind of media empire that Steve has got going on. So there's a whole lifestyle and string of mantras that Steve is selling you into in order to keep those sales going. Kevin don't give a fuck.
He don't. Oh.
And those names, there's one more we didn't talk about. What do you guys think of Derek Jackson?
DJ. Throw him all the way. Like,
I saw him motherfucker for who he was in the beginning. I said, this nigga I was like, he was just totally fucked up from the beginning. I was like, first of all, when he first did his first video, I said, yo, where's his wife at? He's talking all this shit, his wife ain't never in the video.
Yeah, because I didn't even know he was married. Yeah.
But a lot of people don't notice this nigga pulling away from the side bitch house in most of his videos. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly. His background do be different. His background do be different.
And I'm glad that you brought that up.
And you know what? Your backgrounds would be different if you had $2 or $3 million in your pockets too.
Exactly.
I'm glad you guys brought that up, because now I need the women to turn on your videos, women, because I have a couple of questions and I really need you to be a part of this if you guys are still awake, because we're going to get down to some of you ladies' questions. I have them on the phone. Women are texting me. Now, you don't have to talk, it's up to you, but there's a couple of things that I want to ask. Okay, I see Coco there. Coco, you're on. Adrian T. Mo. Okay, let's start, because I really want to get a little deeper into relationships and what men really want. So I hope you guys are ready. Let's start with the first one. What does a man define as cheating? Who makes money cheaters, men or women?
As what?
As cheating, like what does a man define as cheating? So what do men define as cheating?
There's two levels.
Okay.
There's two levels?
There's two levels. And I'll explain it to you. And it will be real evident once I do. You have to go through level 1 in order to get to level 2. Level 1 is emotional cheating. That's when you entertain somebody and you're sending the messages and you talking to somebody. Level 2 is the physical.
Level 2 is physical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then and going off of his thing, level 1, y'all usually are pretty much gone, or y'all drifting away, or y'all have already disconnected because y'all love emotionally. Y'all only reason why y'all would cheat, and this, I'm talking to men with this one, because I don't think a lot of us pick this up. When they cheat, or when they sleep with somebody, they have already left you months ahead. When they, and that's because they have emotionally detached from us. If they don't feel that emotional attachment, then they'll go find it somewhere else. They don't mind us having whack sex. Like, our sex could be just whack, but if that emotion's gone, it's a wrap. With us, We don't need the emotion. But if the sex bad, we'll go out and try to find somebody else. And that's where y'all will. We'll go out and try to find somebody to satisfy our needs. But that doesn't mean that we don't love you anymore. Or that's why a lot of men, and we be telling the truth. Like, no, babe, she didn't mean nothing to me. It was just one time. I love you. I want to be. We are dead ass serious. Like,
Yeah, because
absolutely
our,
nothing.
yeah, because our emotions don't need to be involved when we have sex.
But do you know there's a difference between saying I love you and I'm in love with you?
Sure, it's a sexual commitment component.
Mhm.
Loving somebody is just about emotion. In love is a sexual
Not
commitment added on.
in love doesn't
See, I
mean
gotta disagree with you with that one.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah, let's talk.
That's good.
Okay, let me. I'm gonna help Pat a little bit because
Sorry.
I'm just trying to get my thoughts together, but y'all go ahead.
I want to hear what he goes for too. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
because what I wanted to say is I'm listening to what you've been saying, right? And my thing is, if you love your woman, then why would you go out there to someone else? What's the purpose of that?
Okay, that's another mistake that women make, thinking that we are wired the same as you are.
Okay, let's talk about it.
And we're not. We just said it. Our feelings could be with you, and we could be fucking somebody else. And those are two totally different
that sounds
things.
like two different people.
That's the way some of it
we
come
are.
up.
In a way we are, but where our emotions are can be separate from where our body is, and to try to confine us to function and move as you do as women will only confuse you about how we actually are wired and who men are.
Okay, I have a question because I'm not the average woman.
Okay.
I am the type of woman who appreciates, that's number one, the man that's in my life. And once I appreciate that man, I will do whatever in my power to help him, to make sure he's okay, to open up to him, to hopefully he opens up to me. That's the type of woman I am. So, I mean, I've heard you guys talking, excuse me, I heard you guys talking, and a lot of questions I have, but I have to find my questions.
You sound like a rare exception of a woman, and it sounds like he's very lucky to have
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Me too. I think I understand. I think I get it though. As I'm listening, and tell me if I'm wrong, man, because I'm really trying to understand you guys. If you have a woman that you love at home, let's say you're in a club, you with your friends, do you just sleep with this woman because of how she looks, because she looks good, and then you get right back? Is that it?
It's
not that cut and dry.
It's literally our nature, like that. Like our nature is constantly telling us to reproduce. So we can see somebody, and it's just like, okay, yeah, she like, and that's all we see it. Like it is not like we're out there, we're trying to fall in love or anything like that. It's no different than just like, okay, you're just I don't know, fulfilling like your bodily urges, your bodily. This is what you naturally do. This is what we was programmed to do originally. But our women at home, we're going to come back to you. We know where we are. We know where home is. So it's not like, when we because and this also goes back to like the emotion thing, because y'all think that we're cheating, y'all or something like that, or we're sleeping with some other woman. Y'all think that we have left y'all mentally and emotionally and stuff like that, and we connected to you because y'all are trying to make us think like y'all. We don't think like y'all.
What makes you think?
Well, what makes you think I want your mental?
Exactly.
And what makes you think I want your emotions if your
No, not
physical
that-
body
no.
has been wait. What
Uh-huh.
makes you think I want your mental and your emotion if your physical dick has been in some next bitch? Why do I don't care about your emotions? I don't care about your mental state. Because your mental state should have been wired in a way that you figured out, hey, I don't want to put my physical in her physical because I got a physical body at home.
Right.
Instead of taking your ass with her, you should have took your ass home, and you didn't. So I don't care about your mental. I don't care if you love me, because your love don't mean nothing to me, because your dick was in somebody else.
Fair enough.
And I'm not asking you. I'm not
As a
asking
man.
you to think like me. I'm not asking you to think like me. I'm
This is
asking
where our
you
discipline
to
comes in.
be.
You know, we gotta learn how to deal with that anyway. You know, and y'all have to give us credit. Y'all don't give us credit for actually going to and denying all these women to come back to you, and then when we come back to y'all, a lot, especially if we've been in a relationship. Now, and I'm sorry, I may be talking about my old relationships and stuff like that. But after time, man, after like 3 or 4 years, and we're denying all these women and stuff like that, we come home and then sometimes we be like, hey, let's get freaky. I don't want to. I'm tired. And then it's like, okay, well, what do we constantly got to go back out to the next day, be just as faithful as you was yesterday, and hope that y'all, because y'all, and I got this from Kevin Samuel, but I completely agree. Y'all control the sex. We control the relationship. So
That's
if
not
we're
true.
giving y'all
That's
the
not
relationship,
I
true.
got something to say, man.
That is true. Women do control the sex. Yes, that's true. That's true.
you know,
That's true.
Got a whole lot.
That's true.
We have to be faithful or something like that, but y'all are not. But we have to come and ask y'all for it or something like that, or y'all treat it like it's chore or something like that. Y'all not really into it. Y'all not rewarding us for actually going out and holding on to our relationship.
Okay, what you're saying is really sad and all. Like, I mean, this sounds really sad, you know, like, it's like, man, we go out and we hold back from cheating on you every single day and we don't get no credit. Like, this shit sounds to me like how men get patted on the back because they went to go get a sonogram with their girlfriend. Like, this is like bare minimum bullshit that you're about here. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not really that sorry, like, to hear all this, because it's bullshit. Because the fact is, y'all don't forgive us when we cheat on you. Y'all never forget about that shit. You'll talk about it forever.
That's what I wanted to ask.
The impression that I'm getting, though, is that we forgive you.
That's not true either.
Okay, all right. Wait, can I rephrase that? Because that's what I wanted to ask, Adrian. Thank you. Can y'all handle it if it's the other way around?
Right.
If the woman is doing the same thing you guys are doing, can you handle that?
We're not going to go past that. First of all, y'all never forget if we fuck up. Y'all just
We never forget, but we forget. We never forget, but we forgive. We never forget, but we forgive.
As I've come from being married, being in relationships, I call that shit autographed bullets, because y'all pick y'all time to choose and load up that clip. And as soon as one thing pisses y'all off, the whole thing comes out.
Yep.
That's not true with me. Because I believe in communication.
Here's the thing that always happens.
I agree with that.
Women are emotional, men are rational. We will rationalize the whole situation. You did it. We fucked up. We know we fucked up. You did what you did. We did what we did. Fuck it. It's done. We're not going to bring it back up. You women?
It's going to bring it back up.
I never. I'm sorry. I'm exceptional. If it's done,
Exactly.
It's over with.
Look. It's a
time to move on. I ain't hanging on to something. I'm not going to hang on to something that has been done and situated already. It's time to move on. Otherwise, you're not
exactly. If a man is going to cheat on you and you're going to stay with him, that means you forgive him. And if you can't forgive him and move on, then there's no need to be.
Exactly.
That's why I said what I said to Marielle. Like, I don't care about your mental and emotional if your physical whatever did what you did. If you did what you did and I can't get past that, I'm not going to be with you. I'm not gonna, it's not nothing for me to there's nothing for me to forgive you about, because I moved on from you.
Exactly.
I have to move on from you, because I know mentally I can't forgive you and stay with you, because I'll just keep throwing that in your face.
Right.
And that's where I agree with Miss Lady, who's agreeing with me right now. I'm an exception to a lot of rules, because I don't cut no man down. I'm not gonna cut no, because a man is a man is a man. And I'm not gonna I'm not saying I'm afraid to submit. I don't put labels on what I do, but I'm gonna let a man be a man, because if that's the case, I could just be by myself.
Exactly. You know? There you go.
Y'all don't ever see me in these videos, but I'm manly. I could be a dude, you know, but I'm not. I got a boo. He's bigger than me, and he's a man. So I let him be a man. Yeah. Like you can't cut down a man,
right?
And talk down to a man and hurt a man, and then when he do something, you can't forgive him, but you still want him to be a man.
Yeah.
Like you can't do that.
Yeah.
And I'm not asking any man to do that.
And be 100. That's all. That right there is all we ask for.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm gonna give it to you, boo boo. I'm gonna give it to you.
I'll do it.
Okay, I'm gonna give you what you want.
That's literally all we ask for.
And look, when you go to the club, you ain't gonna have to get patted on the back because you came home and you ain't cheap, because I ain't letting you leave the house heavy. You leaving the house empty. Okay? You leaving the house empty. Okay? When you get to the club, and you hanging out with your boys, everything gonna be full is your belly. Okay? Your dick empty. You ain't got nothing to give nobody. Okay?
I promise you, I promise you.
I think I love you, Taisha.
Yes,
you ain't going to the club looking for nothing. Why? Because you empty.
Right.
I have fucked you dry. You are good.
But see, the reason why we're even having this conversation is because that is not in a lot of women these days.
No,
that's kind of mentality. So it's like, I mean, that's all we really ask for. Feed us, fuck us, and let us be us. Like, let us watch it. And I promise you, everything else, we appreciate, as much as we appreciating our Corvettes or our cars, or, you know, our collection and stuff like that. Why? Because we see you as having value. So we appreciate it. But we think that our prized possession in our life is not going to get that plus more, because it's doing what we want it to do, and not in the sense of, like, you know, we want to control you or anything like that. But when we go out the Corvette, getting us the attention that we want, we got to keep it shiny and all kinds of stuff like that. You know, like if we have a woman that's gonna, you know, that keeps us happy, makes us socially socially acceptable. Because, I mean, I like to talk about, you know, the fact that, you know, y'all are real good with cooking and cleaning, and I know that sounds kind of tough, but there's a whole system set up behind women cooking and cleaning that actually uplifts a man in society. But that's my theory, and a little bit later. But just like we'll come home. Like, what? We don't think nobody. We'll go out to have fun or hang out for, the homie's birthday or something like that. But we ain't looking at no other woman.
So it looks like Taisha found the secret to keeping a man from cheating. Does that help?
So
it seems like it. But that was my next question. But it seems like we found it.
So can I ask a question?
Sure.
Why do men go out and find a woman that they really are not looking for?
Well, that was another question I had. That you would be talking about the side chicks, the hoes, the sluts, and the freaks, right?
Right.
No, we talked about that on another show. Why do men love those type of women? Because that's what they're not getting at home?
No, it's a simple fact that keeping it 100, keeping it 100.
Yes, definitely.
They're easy. We literally, like, I'll tell you, we have our mentality of, like, we constantly got things to do, or something like that. We are out chasing our prey. And if you just have a prey that is sitting there, they're sick, or they can't move, or they have legs broken, which is like these easy women. we're not going to go chase a strong gazelle or something like that. We're going to we're just going to lay up and bear. Okay, we're done, but we're not going to give them any value. Once we've done what we did or something like that, and we got what we want, we're gone. That's why women feel the way they feel after they just present themselves, and then like, hey, okay, and then they expect a relationship after that. Like, no, like I'm not saying though, like, oh, wait for marriage because that's unrealistic as well, or but you gotta give a little bit of a chance. But with the women that are out there and stuff like that, that are like the thoughts of the whole, they're just easy pickings, but there's no attachment there to it. But and again, I'm not speaking for myself, but okay, I want to make that disclaimer right quick. Like, that's not my mentality, but like this is just our nature. Like the goal or the mission is to, let's see if we can get something today. All right, if not, okay, we're trying to get it. If we get it, okay, it depends on who's easy.
And that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense.
The population of the planet is broken down between the sexes is 51% female. So for mankind to keep going, we gotta keep it moving. That's the way it's hard
exactly. It's about to go down.
From the animal kingdom, outside of societal rules, from the animal kingdom is 51-49. So how are we supposed to keep the human race going?
Okay, because the 1%, because we got 1% more, the men have to have more than one?
You have 2% more women.
2% more women?
I didn't know we were endangered. Like, what are you talking about?
We're the endangered ones.
I mean, that's
men are the 49. Males are the 49%.
I thought you meant like the human race, but all right.
Oh, no.
Okay, all right. All right. Okay, there's another question I have, because I'm going to say one question to the end. What are men's biggest fears about relationships? That was a question that was brought to me. What are your biggest fears about relationships? Why can't men commit? Or what's the problem with men committing?
That we pay too much in the transaction.
Okay, explain.
For example, and this is just an example, a woman with with 1 or 2 kids, now she's never been married before. Now she wants this 3-6 man to have the house, the car, and all this other stuff. And at the end of the day, in the conclusion of it all, he doesn't get what he's bargained for. We get cheated out of what we should have gotten.
And okay, let me understand that. Why do you say you got cheated? Is it because he has to have more to get married, or?
Well, first of all, in that scenario, she's already given up her womb once or twice to a man who only made X amount of dollars and did not marry her, right?
Okay.
I come along, now I gotta have 100 grand, I gotta have a house, I gotta have a car, and I gotta have all this stuff. But you're already coming with 2 kids from somebody else who didn't have any of that, but you shared your womb with them. So you gave more yourself to somebody else who didn't come with so much, but yet I'm gonna get the short end of the stick.
Maybe she just realized after that second womb was filled that
I was thinking,
want
yeah,
a
she just
3-6
want to fix the
man.
mistake that she made, but I get it. Yeah.
Exactly. But look, but that's
I can
that's on
have
you. That's on you to date her. If you want to date her, if that's what she wants and you're choosing to date her, why she can't have what she wants? If she want a 3-6 man and you not the 3-6 man and you want her even though she gave up her womb twice, that's not on her, that's on you.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm just not going to, I'm just not going to deal with her. Absolutely,
Yeah,
But-
I mean, but
but-
again, you're gonna have to wonder why he doesn't have a man, because you're not gonna find all three of those, like the 3 men like that.
I don't understand why you gotta have a type of anything. If I look at you for 2
fair
more
enough,
seconds,
too.
then and look, if you look at me for 2 more seconds, then I look at you, then we together. God damn it! And I don't have to. I don't have to be your type.
Who is this? So, I like her. Yeah, like yeah.
If we could only see Taisha,
I don't know about a type. I
some
don't
sexy
have a
ass
type.
on the phone.
They say that all the time. What's your type? What's your type? You gotta have a type. She gotta be this thick waist. I mean, big ass and little waist. I got big everything. Everything on me is big.
Okay,
Everything.
then get your ass on
And
the
not
phone.
no Slim, because it's not in a good way. Okay, but it's big and I can't help it, and I don't care.
Somebody likes it. I promise you, somebody likes it.
Yeah.
Somebody wants it on the
Yes,
I promise
yes,
She's always had a man.
They like
promise
it
you.
because the biggest thing on me is my heart. And I'm gonna give it to anybody that's willing to cherish it and hold it and take care of it. If you can protect my heart, you'll have me any way you want me.
If
That's anybody. That's not my man. That's Jay right there. That's my sis. That's my kid. That's a man on the street who ain't got, who needs something. If I got it and I'm gonna give it to you. That's who I am.
Yep.
And if you're gonna protect that, then we're good.
Yeah. Taisha, if you don't mind me asking, what's your height and dress size?
Big and bigger.
Wait, I'm gonna wait. We'll do that later. Come back, y'all. Come back. Yeah.
Talking all this back. Get on the damn video.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna bring it back.
That boy did that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, let me ask. There was another question. There was another question that I was given. And I'm trying to figure out why it was put like this, but it was, are darker women over-sexualized and are lighter women considered less real?
No.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
I don't even want to. I don't. Next question.
What is that supposed to mean?
I had one of my friends from the job actually gave me that question. And it doesn't matter what she is, but she is of Spanish descent. So I don't know if she meant like lighter Spanish or I didn't ask. I just said I would ask the question.
Because you
look, I feel like this.
Go ahead.
Dark-skinned women are sexy, light-skinned women are foreign. Next question.
What I was going to get into.
Do we all agree with that?
No.
I didn't hear what he said. What he said?
I don't agree with that.
No.
Yeah. What did he say? I didn't hear what you said.
Dark-skinned woman is sexy and light-skinned woman is fine. That's what he said.
I have a fine dark-skinned sister. So I don't agree. I do not agree.
The first thing I'm going to go to as far as defining dark skin is the paperback test. But anyway.
What?
They used to do that back in the day, yeah.
Right. As far as the woman that it came from, I would be careful with the perspective that she's posing the question from, because in the Spanish community, they have an unspoken, really oral policy that is really passed down through the girls, as far as in Spanish, leva la raza, which is elevate the race, which is really saying don't date no dark man.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And that came from what?
That's from the Spanish culture, especially.
You sure? Because my baby mom is Spanish.
No, if you ask her, she'll be aware of it. She may not ascribe to it, but it doesn't mean that it isn't there.
I don't know about all that because I have plenty of family members that's mixed with Hispanic culture.
Right. And and they may be, various shades, but that doesn't negate that social policy was there. As far as a measure of self-hate in order to basically elevate the race and appear more white.
And I want to clear when I say that black women, dark women are sexy and like that, I'm equivalent to like it doesn't matter what we say.
That's kind of
I don't like that.
I didn't think you were saying one was better than the other. I took it you saying like, yeah, everybody's sexy, it's good.
I'm light-skinned sexy. Hold on, I'm light-skinned and sexy.
That's used to divide us. Like I have my preference. I have my preference, but that don't mean I look at anybody else.
But how can you define dark-skinned women as being sexy and light-skinned women as being fine? Because I'm both fine and sexy.
Because fine, and that's what I'm saying. They're synonymous to each other. I'm using them in a synonymous way. So I'm saying that it doesn't matter what because I didn't have to use sexy. I could have used gorgeous. Exact same thing is fine. I mean, I'm still finding y'all attractive.
I don't think you should have judged either one. I think you should have judged them both on the same level.
Yeah. Well, these are preferences. For me, it's everybody's opinion, their preferences.
For me, it's about the total package because we come in 33 different shades, all kinds of heights, all kinds of dress sizes, dimples, no dimples, whatever. I'm looking at the package as is. I got my preferences, but not every woman is going to fit, every detail about the package, so there's give and take. And then her spirit, her personality may overshadow any or all of that.
Okay. Now let me ask another question. And again, these are random questions I'm asking that people gave me that they just want answers to. So when they watch the podcast, they'll definitely get their answers. Is there something called the shallow Hal syndrome? Ooh. Do men have that?
Oh, hell yeah. Ooh.
Oh, yes. Now I was told about this a long time ago. That some men don't have a preference. It's like they love everything. Like you remember the movie Shallow Hal?
I didn't see that.
It was where he thought every woman was beautiful, regardless of how they look. Do black men have that same syndrome? Where Shallow Hal is just like, does anybody know what I'm talking about with this?
Yes, I'm a Shallow Hal. I don't have a preference. I think all men are beautiful.
I haven't seen the movie, but I will say this. If black men are guilty of it, it's because black women are so beautiful in so many different ways.
Absolutely. You better say that soon.
Okay.
If I could see your ass, I could
another question. What usually comes first in a man's life? Is it success, his family, or like marriage?
In what context?
Depends on what kind of man you are. Some men are family first. Some are just worried about their money.
Right.
But majority of the men I'm speaking for myself, majority men that I know that I'm around that was around me growing up, their family.
Family comes first. Okay.
Say that.
It depends. It depends on.
Nah, no. If you're that type of man that's just worried about your success, that means you don't give a damn where you came from. Because where did you come from? You got to look at where you came from. You came from your family before you made that success.
Yeah, but if you had a horrible family life, then
you was around some type of family. You was raised by some type of family member.
What if
you even look at the kids that's in the shelter that got foster parents. You always hear them shout out their foster parents before they shout out their success.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay,
but I'll definitely say your lived experience will change the equation.
Oh,
if you just worried about yourself, that's selfish to me.
Well, yeah, it is selfish. I will definitely agree, but you can't deny a person's lived experience and how it impacts them and changes what they prioritize.
I don't know. I'm family first. I don't know.
I mean, I agree with you. You know, family should be first.
Most women around me are family first. I don't know nothing else.
So because the reason why we bust our butts and, you know, go the extra mile and do all the overtime and take the extra classes and everything else is to bring it home to family. But there are those that are just, stuck on themselves. Their priorities are different. Maybe wrong, it may be upside down, it may be backwards.
And I have to agree with that because a lot of people have their priorities mixed up. They're not in order.
Right. They're still getting it. They're getting it for what we would think are the wrong reasons, but they're still getting it.
Now, guys, let's talk about mental health. I just had a question to ask you about mental health. Do we believe that, do men believe that going to therapy, talking about their feelings with someone that they don't know, is that helping? Like, is that okay to have a therapist in our society as a Black man, since we are talking to the Black men in here? Like, is that acceptable now? Or any of you gentlemen talking to a therapist about
if not now, you should be. Let me tell you this. I was in college and I was going through some stuff mentally.
Right.
So the college provided me with a person to go ahead and talk to once a week for a semester. It's about 14 or 15 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
In those weeks, it felt better each time I got to talk to my person, because the fact that it gave me a chance to go and open up. It gave me a chance to look inside myself and reevaluate how I am or what am I doing or anything like that. I mean, personally, I've had therapy for most of my life because of the fact that yes, I have a stuttering problem, obviously, but I thought differently from all my classmates because of the fact that not only do I think a little bit faster, it just comes out to why.
Mm-hmm.
So mentally, I don't want to put myself through a whole lot of stuff because I already have enough on my plate. If I put anything more, it's gonna break me. So the fact that going to a person to talk about me in general, how am I doing, it actually helped. If nobody else would, I have to go ahead and go to either a journal, start writing out my thoughts, or going to the gym and working out. That's the only other times that I find myself being in therapy, because of the fact that if I don't do anything, if I don't talk to the person or doing something that I'd rather be doing, my life right now, different.
Right.
And I would say that's a matter of taking care of yourself first.
Therapy. Okay.
You have to take care of yourself first, because if you don't, you're going to be out there with a whole lot of wild people. Take care of yourself first and foremost. That's a motto of mine.
And I'm not in therapy now, but I'm going to stress that it's very important that anyone who goes to therapy, and I should go back, and Kevin Samuel says that everybody should go, but what I will say from personal experience is to find someone who you can connect with.
Right.
If you find a therapist you can't connect with, go find another one until you do. Because when I went to therapy, it was depression related to the early death of my mother and the relationship I was in as well. And it was wasted time, because when I went to their office, there was we were constantly interrupted. You know, we still had the 50 minutes, but we were constantly interrupted. We didn't have a space to our own. So in, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 weeks of sessions once a week, I made no progress, because every time we were interrupted, I had to start over again.
And Slim, not to cut you off, but don't look at it as wasted time. Look at it as a learning lesson.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, because I was able to, to bring the lesson to everybody. So yeah.
Right.
Does anyone, because I'm listening to you guys, does anyone feel like this podcast is sort of like therapy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, just about anything could be therapy. I mean, I don't think you have to. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay. I feel exactly the same way. I feel like this helps me understand a lot, and I'm also hoping you guys that it helps you understand a lot. We're talking to the opposite sex about things that we may have questions to. We get answers to. That's why it was so important to do the battle of the sexes. And it wasn't, a battle against each other. It's a battle to just all the stereotypes and the preconceived notions we have about each other, to dispel them. And so we could kind of get to know each other a little bit better. I learned so much from you guys, like every week. And I feel like this is almost kind of a form of therapy, Yeah. Which is good. Okay.
Me personally, I'm in isolation more than I'm around anyone. And if I am around anyone, it's much more men than it is women. So, the few women that I get to talk to on, in a one-off or, any kind of regular basis as well.
Okay, all right, definitely. And I only have two more, three more questions. This one was a big one, and I went through it with the ladies, so you would have to check out the lady show to see what their answer was. But here we go. Is the world, and I mean the men in the world, are they ready for a Black female president? Let's say something happens to Joe. God forbid, because I love Joe. I love Joe Biden. Let's say, are we ready for a female president? As men, do you feel like a female can run this world? And how you feel?
All right, with that situation, it's not just the Black community. It's just not men. It's everybody in general. From what I know about politics, a lot of people do not want women running the world because they feel like women runs off too many emotions.
Oh,
okay.
I've heard this from plenty of people.
I'm just looking at the women's faces. Okay.
No, I've heard this. I'm dead serious. And a lot of people said this when Hillary Clinton ran for president. And a lot of people said,
and most of it's not even that true. It's just because we're not ready mentally for a woman running our affairs.
That either because majority of the presidents were men, but I'm just saying from what I heard, I don't agree with it either, but I'm just saying they feel women runs off too many emotions.
Exactly, but
men, just we can't hear you at all.
And also, I mean, and
No.
keeping it 100. I mean, do you think that other countries will really? I mean, think about countries that really don't even look at women in that type of.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I mean, it's not again. It's not, I mean, this is not our opinion or anything like that. Like, I'm not saying that it's not. Like,
that's not my opinion either.
But the world's not ready for that.
No, and that's why I said it's not just men, it's not just women, it's everybody.
You're absolutely correct about that.
Well, okay, so you guys don't think,
and this I feel is all stereotyping women when it comes to certain politics, because men, a lot of majority of politics are a lot of men. Men overrule women in politics when it comes to that type of stuff.
And what I just talked about in my class for both, I forgot what they are, but anyway, in the process, the women would deal more in their feelings for the fact that they're nurturing and more caring, while the men are just more authoritative. And I don't agree with that per se, because the fact that it was off the teachers.
Me neither. There's a lot I learned growing up, going to see Barack Obama when he took his nomination, to seeing Hillary Clinton, to seeing Joe Biden, to seeing Michelle Obama. I've seen all of them. I've heard all of them speak. All of them are very intelligent. I've seen them speak live. I went to Denver, Colorado for the Democratic National Convention and all that.
Yes.
And this is why I said the world as a whole is not ready for it. That's why I said it's not just men, it's not just women, it's the country in itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because
I've heard a lot of craziness at the convention. I heard a lot of stuff that was like, oh, okay.
Because the office of the vice president is literally one heartbeat away from the presidency.
Right. So what do we think about Kamala Harris? Like, about the job she's doing so far? She hasn't been in that long, but what do we think about her?
Honestly, I think both of them is doing good, but I think more could be done.
Yeah, more definitely could have been done, because
more could be done. It's just the fact that half the side of the Republicans in the Senate or the House, they're not trying to go ahead and let things go in their favor.
They have to clean up what Trump did.
Exactly.
But you just can't blame one president, though. It's not just what Trump did, though. You got to think about the presidents before him. Before him was Barack Obama. Yes, Barack Obama made stuff better, but he didn't complete everything from the last president before him.
Right.
So everything that's getting cleaned up now is previous presidents that's fucking up in certain places that they're not telling us.
Right.
We don't hear everything that's going on behind closed doors when it comes to politics.
Right. So you can't put.
But that's stereotyping. That's stereotyping certain presidents. You can't just stereotype one person because you feel one person was a fucked up person. You can't do that.
No, that's understandable. It's like a title.
Because everybody is cleaning up everybody's mess when it comes to this politics shit. Everybody's cleaning up the previous person's mess.
But what I'm saying is, because you guys said you think Biden and Kamala could be doing any better, they have to deal with what was put in front of them before they can start their own per se.
I just want to get to the last two questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where everybody's still awake. All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right. This is the biggest question. What do men really want from women? I need the men to answer that. Ladies, I need y'all to let them answer that.
Shut the fuck up.
That's okay.
We the black delegation.
Yeah, somebody else want to say it.
And say it again, Daryl. I want to make sure they all heard it, because I only heard half of it.
They heard it because they thinking it. They might not have wanted to say it, but they was thinking it. mean, there's more to it, but that's the main thing. If you can cook for me, I'm happy. I ain't gotta go nowhere else to find a good meal. If you
So
fucking me, I want to be fucked. When I want to be fucked, we good. And there's times where we need you to shut the fuck up, but that's when you want to talk. If we ask you nicely, yo, can you please shut the fuck up? I'm gonna take it as disrespect.
Okay.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to, even if we say it nicely, it's gonna be like, so feed me, fuck me, shut the fuck up.
Okay, so when I feed you, fuck you, and I don't say nothing, why you need 16 other bitches to do that?
He said,
"Wait, who?"
I said, if I feed you and I fuck you and I don't say shit to you, why you need 16 other bitches to do that?
If you do it well enough, I won't have to leave the house.
Shit, I ain't gonna do it nothing but well. Shit, I'm gonna do it like you want it. If you want it well, you're gonna get it well.
All right.
Well, then that dude, something wrong with Buddy then. That's not every guy.
Yeah.
Because if you're getting all of that, and then you still got to go out and find 15 other women that you got to deal with, and you got to hear them complain and all that, you got to care about their emotions and all that stuff. You got to do that, and you have already one at the house or two if you're about that life. But if you got to do all that, then you probably are not doing it, or he broken. Found a really messed
broken.
up.
Yeah,
poor little broken man.
He's broken, but there's also the commitment of time, energy, money, and all the extra lives you got to keep track of. I'm not trying to do all that.
Okay, so what do you want from women, Slim? You didn't answer the question.
Can I rebuttal on that?
Go ahead, bro.
If you, and I really shouldn't be saying this, fellas. I apologize, ladies.
No man code. It's no man code. You good?
You want a real good dude? Find a dude that's really, really impatient. If you're looking for loyalty, because he's going to want to deal with a whole bunch of other different fucking people. If he's truly impatient, doesn't like to be bothered, doesn't like drama, 9 times out of 10, he ain't gonna go looking for nobody else because he don't want to deal with the bullshit.
Yeah.
He don't want to deal with you snooping through his phone. He ain't gonna want to deal with you bickering about all that. He ain't got time for this shit. He impatient than a motherfucker. He ain't got time to deal with the rest of the shit.
I might be an impatient male because I ain't got time for the shit either.
Wow.
And being 100, being 100, what he literally just described, and taking it back to the alpha male, beta male, what he literally just described was a sigma male.
I don't want an impatient man. I don't need an impatient man. I need a man that's gonna be in my corner. I don't need someone that's out there talking about they impatient. That's not what I need. Because to me, that's a cycle.
No.
Oh, I think you missed it. I think you missed his point, Nay. What he was saying was find a man that's impatient, that don't want to be bothered with nobody, because if you're treating him right at home, he doesn't want to be bothered with nobody else. He's going to go come back home. He's not going to do nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
That's what he was saying.
Okay, my bad.
That's why
I got you, bro. Come on now.
Because I stepped away for a minute. My bad.
If you're in a relationship with somebody, male or female, if you're giving that person 100%, there is no room for anybody
or anything else. There you go.
There's no room for a side chick. There's no room for a side nigga. There's no room for there's no sides.
There you go.
It's just you and me, and that's it. And listen, I'm like the toothpaste. I aim to please. So if I get in this, you're gonna get exactly what you looking for.
Yeah, all this shit, Taisha. You need to be on.
I like her. Like, dang.
I might just spank you just for GP. Shit.
Oh, God. And there's one more question, and I'm gonna break this down like this. What is it that men want the world to know? Like, if we could help people or women better understand men that watch the podcast that's not on the panel right here, what would men want to teach the viewers in general? And it could be about anything.
We are simple as fuck.
I like that.
Simple.
I agree.
I promise you. I promise you.
Good
Like
answer.
stuff
Good
that
answer.
we don't even really care about.
He said it in the most respectfulest way too.
Good answer. Good answer.
Not that we're
Yeah.
simple, but we prefer to keep things simple. Because we have our own
So
type
women-
of complication.
Well, women, well, okay, I'm gonna say I'm almost a woman, but I'm just like you men because I like to keep things simple.
Right. You want
So I guess I'm one of the rare women because
right.
a lot of things that you guys were talking about didn't affect me in any way because I'm a simple person.
Right.
I like things easy, pleasant, easy going, keep it honest, let's keep it moving. That's the type of person I am.
Yeah, right. So,
Amen.
So keeping things simple is different from being simple, because us simple men, built this world that y'all use.
Okay.
Now, let me ask, for the women that are on the panel now, did you ladies learn anything? Or are you going to change some of your ways? If you are single, because I didn't ask who was single, who wasn't. But if the ladies, if you are single, did you find ways or solutions to get a man? Or if you have someone in your life to keep a man, did this show kind of help you to learn some things that you didn't know? Ladies?
I already kind of knew. Because I'm just that type of person where I get vibes from men that come in anywhere around me. I get a certain vibe. So I'm gonna say I love the men that are on this show because they were actually being honest.
Yes, they were. I'm so proud of you guys. No man code is a beautiful thing.
Right.
Adrian, how'd you feel? Did you learn anything?
No, I agree. I mean, it was just really good listening to you guys. I don't know how much I learned about, I'm not trying to scoop like that, but I appreciate the insight into your brains to see what's going on in there.
All right.
I agree, not necessarily, but I appreciate it.
Okay.
Anything
Taisha.
Well,
yes.
Did you learn anything? Like,
yes. I learned Slim is freaky as fuck. That's what I learned.
That's true.
If
He's trying to build a freaky kingdom. Just freaky. No, but I also learned that if you give a man, a black man, because it's mostly black men it's only black men, but if you give a black man a chance to express himself, he does have things he want to say. Not all men are on that man code thing where you say, like you grew up, man up, you're a sucker. Like,
right.
Why you showing emotion? What you crying for? Like, it's good to be on a podcast and talk to people where you may have grown up like that, but you grew out of that. So it shows that black men can grow, and they're not the stereotype that they have out there as black men. And I love that because look, say what you want to say about any man. My black man is beautiful. He's always going to be beautiful, and he has his flaws, but so do us women. So, I figure if we use something like this podcast to work together, we'll grow into something so much more beautiful.
Yes, and more. Yes, thank you, Taisha. More unified. I learned quite a lot.
All right.
But I learned that I really need to be a little bit more softer to the men that's in my life. I'm quite hard. Like, I'm rough.
Ooh, look what y'all done did. Jesus.
Exactly.
I'm banging on bacon quite a lot, and I think I need to be a little softer. And I found that I could be a boss you know, and still, I guess I don't feel like I degrade men, but even if they're not on my level to see or appreciate what level they're on. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You just take that man, this is what you do. You just take that man, make him a friend, get to know him better, understand him, and take that all to heart. Because that's what I do. Any person that, whether it's a man or a woman, I bring them, they're automatically in my heart once they come around.
Now, this is the thing. I don't put my heart on my sleeve, so we're a little different with that. You're gonna have to work to get to me. But when you get to me or you get close, I'm just gonna be a little bit less. I don't know. I'm.
You have
I just have a really big dominant trait. And I know you know about that, Darryl. I think I need to be a little softer. I learned quite a lot. I actually respect men a little bit more from this podcast. And that's big for me. I learned quite a lot. And I also learned that I do quite a lot of things that y'all do. I just didn't say it. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of stuff that y'all do, I do. But you know, I learned quite a lot from you, gentlemen. I'm very proud of you guys. Y'all were amazing. Men, did you learn anything from maybe the other men on the panel that may make you want to change how you do things, or made you change your mind on some things that you previously thought before this show? Learn anything, you know?
I think we was all pretty much on one page with that.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah, we were pretty much on one page. I mean, if I was to say anything to the women who are who have masculine energy and want to attract a man or more men into their orbit, I'm just going to say it like this: know when to put your dick up, because it's your femininity that will draw us to you.
Yeah.
Masculine.
Yeah.
All right, so I hope everyone here, I hope it was a good show. I hope everyone learned something, even if they didn't say it. This was a great show, both parts, which I will be posting next week and the week after next. Our next show will be everyone here, plus all the people from the other shows. Hopefully, we will all come back in this room again, and we will talk about what we learned, and just the things that we feel like we should change, which is kind of what we just did. It should be interesting to get everybody back together and just see if things change. I want to thank everybody for coming out. We're not really going to do plug talk again tonight. It's the same plug talk. Again, I need everyone here. If you're not subscribed, everyone watching the podcast, please subscribe. Please hit the red button under this video. Subscribe, so we can bring you more content. You can stay up on the new content that we're bringing out. You can order the beautiful shirts and the hats that I have. The drinkware. I have a lot of merchandise pertaining to the podcast. Or you can get in contact with me about maybe some new ideas, some concepts for the show. If you want to be on anything, you want to network, talk about your business, we can do it all. All right. I am Destinee Jae. I am your host, and we have our special guest co-host here, Just D. Wave again for him, Just D. I want to thank everybody for coming out. And now y'all know what this part is, right? Everybody wave. Great job, guys. Say good night.
Great.
All right.
This is me, I'm so royal, and you all wanna be round. Yeah, you all wanna be round. Round a champion. I got tons of soul, I'm a true collectible. Famous, also famous, #1 desirable. I do what I want, when I want, and how I want it. Leave you with the one in the air, that's how I roll. I got changes, bro, I don't care about no goal. Better, so much better, flipping incredible. Always on the show, so they know that I still got it. And I never feel sorry, yeah, on top of the world. This is me, I'm so royal, and you all wanna be round. Yeah, you all wanna be round. Round champion, a champion.